Welcome to Breaking Ice and Building Bridges from Possibilities. I'm Kelly Johnson.
And I'm Byron Jackson. Glad you're here.
Connecting a community through conversation.
Hello, this is Byron Jackson with Breaking Ice, Building Bridges. I hope that is the correct name because I always get the wrong name. And happy day here. It's a happy day for me. I have across from me Katelyn. Katelyn, what is your last name?
Post.
Katelyn Post.
Yes.
KP.
KP. Yes.
That is for, so has anyone ever called you the initials?
They actually have. KP. Did you ever watch Disney Channel? I don't know if your kids were young enough, but there was a show called Kim Possible, and her nickname was KP, and that was kind of like a show that was popular when I was in middle school. So that became my nickname for a while, actually.
So KP.
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 Yes.
Now, what kind of child were you in middle school?
Oh, I was a little rebellious, but like quietly rebellious. So it was
Passive aggressive.
a bit, yes, a bit.
I was a passive aggressive rebellion.
I wanted to be. See, the thing is like I yearned to be a rebel, but I also yearned to be liked and accepted, and so there was a piece of me that didn't feel like that rebel would fit in with that. And so I kind of shut my rebel out until I was a teenager. Then I was ready, and I was in high school, college. That's when my real rebellion, I guess, stage kind of came.
So rebellion, when you were in middle school, you, I was going to ask you a question I completely forgot. So I'll just go on to my next question. So the word respect, what does that mean to you?
Respect.
Yeah.
To acknowledge that we all have differences of opinions, and to be able to sit in unconditional love with those differences, and to look at people with eyes of compassion, even when you know that they may believe differently than you. I think that's really at the core respect is, and knowing that you're taking radical responsibility over your own system, so that you can then your own belief systems and stuff, and questioning your own stuff, so you know how to respect others and their differences.
So tell me a time when you were in middle school when someone showed you respect.
We're going to connect it back to middle school. Taking it way back.
High school.
High school.
I'll go with one.
Okay.
And then that'll help you
Yeah. Help me build the story.
Yeah, I was trying to figure if you're being rebellious or not. Is she being rebellious or she just doesn't know? When I was I was such a people pleaser as a young kid that I never sit around and thought that somebody wanted to actually hear my thoughts.
Yeah.
And so I just all my responses was based on whether what I thought people wanted to hear.
Right.
And I remember having this teacher, a social studies teacher, that asked me, what did I think about something? And it just, I don't think I can't remember I don't think I ever answered, but it was the first person that showed me enough respect to go, what do you think?
To care about your opinion.
Yeah.
And then and that, yes. I know those teachers really play a big role in our lives.
Yeah.
They have a huge impact. So it's so important when you come into the role of a teacher that you truly can get out of your own self and care and have empathy over the children and the other humans that you're teaching. And knowing that and having that respect and that dignity of knowing that you may have different beliefs and you may do things differently, but I'm still here to support you and acknowledge you.
You were a teacher to me.
How so?
You really helped me with being very intentional about the words that I say. And you take like a lot of time to really think about questions and stuff.
Yeah, intentional. So I believe, well, I think because we live in such a fast world, and we live in a society, especially here in America, where it's just a constant go, 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 that we forget to sometimes take a step back and think about the impact that our words actually have. And I had to actually sit down with myself and look at the impact that my words have had on my own life.
Which is quite a visual.
It is.
Sitting down with yourself.
It is. It's deep work.
Yeah.
And
Now now are you a serious person?
yes, I'm trying
Yes.
not to be as much though anymore, because I've realized that that's really had a deep impact too of just taking things so seriously. It's hardened a lot of pieces of my heart, especially where we live today, how we behave and all of the war that we see. To take it so seriously all the time.
Okay, best comedy movie that you can think of.
Oh, and see, the best comedy
Yeah.
movie that I can think of. And when you put me on the spot like that,
I'm putting you on
every comedy movie that I can think of
Well,
just
this-
goes down the drain.
Tell me what.
I mean, Step Brothers is hilarious.
That is.
It's always one that makes me laugh.
The drums. It's
The
Brothers and
drums and the bunk bed. It's a funny movie. It's hilarious. Trying to think if there's any other really good comedies that have.
Mine, I grew up on. All my movies would be banned today, which I think they should be mandatory, shown in every college. Blazing Saddles.
I've never even heard of that.
Really? It's Mel Brooks, and it's about a black cowboy going to this town. And they offend every gender, race within like the first 5 minutes. And so, but what I like about it is it really highlights stuff that we should really pay attention to. But it's like very, very.
It's like there's the deeper meaning.
It's the
than
paradox.
It's the
Yeah.
paradox.
It's the paradox of.
Yeah.
And so I like that. My hope with you as a friend would always be to that you would trust me enough that you could let your playful side.
Oh
out.
yeah. See, that is, I do notice that's a thing with me is having had faced trauma in my life, I've noticed that more of the playful side does start taking more or less effort as I become trusting with the people that I'm around, and I feel more comfortable to play. Because really, at the end of the day, I believe that like basically the past doesn't really exist, the future doesn't really exist. We're all just living in this now moment, and that means my inner child still exists in me today, and she had to face a lot of pain, and she kind of lost that of the ability to play so much because she put up walls of protection. And as I'm nourishing her today and mothering myself and loving myself the way I know she would have wanted me to love her, or would have wanted a supportive parent to love her, she's more willing to come out and play. And
Now, where did you grow up at?
I grew up in North Oklahoma City. And I grew up, I went to high school at Putnam City North.
And so traumatic childhood.
Yeah, I had a traumatic childhood. I mean, I think we can all say that we've faced some type of childhood trauma in today's society, you know, at some
Others more than
some. I had a mother who really struggled with mental health, who really struggled with addiction, who did the best she could, but she was trying to break generational curses that she just didn't have the strength to break. And my father, same with him. And my mother passed away in August, and since I actually feel more liberated, and there's been a lot of healing that's occurred in that space.
My dad, he died drunk on a toilet. Mm-hmm. And he actually had a stroke, but he would come home and drink so much that my mom just thought he was just drunk again. But he had actually shit on himself and had a stroke and laid in his own crap for hours.
So you know the addiction struggle.
And and so I'm in recovery. And many times, because he died in like 90, I think, around 92. And so I think, boy, if he was born in a different time, it would have been easier for him to get recovery.
Right. But it was
his journey.
It was his journey. And because of that, he planted seeds for you to become to be in recovery.
I agree that too. I agree that.
And you get to be the one to break that cycle.
Yeah.
And we each break different cycles because, I mean, we hold so much pain and trauma. We hold 7 generations from our bloodline. And I mean, when you think 7 generations of pain and trauma, and especially specific different cultures and different, just everything that we faced different, you know, in different.
I'm actually reading a book called My Grandmother's,
yes.
My Grandma Hands.
Yes, I've heard of that book.
Really?
Yes.
And so it's about racial trauma from generation to generation. And really the way we react to each other has much more to do with past generations than it does what's happening between you and I.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
I do too. And
when we can come together into a place of unified harmony within our own system, then it can really, I mean, that's how we break the cycle. That's how we stop. We stop reacting out of triggers, and we find it within ourselves, and we start responding with ears of understanding and words of compassion, because no trigger met with judgment and shame is going to heal.
Yeah, no. Did you make that up?
No, I believe it.
I do too. I just thought I was going to quote you on it.
That was a quote I just came up with. You can quote me.
So we got to get you to watch more
comedy movies.
Animal House is pretty good too.
Animal House, I think I've seen that one actually. There's some good ones.
There are some good. Now, what's the one? Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde. That used to be like a favorite when I was in like middle school, high school.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Because it talks a lot about stereotypes that we have about people.
They do, and we can find all kinds of truths hidden in movies that have such good, true concepts to foster into our day-to-day lives, really, even in those just little funny movies. I think that's something about me. I always try to find the deeper meanings in things, and sometimes I do just want to watch a funny movie and laugh.
I was going to say this.
Why does it have to be deeper?
Well, see, my role with you is to actually help to find your play.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you can help me with that.
I like to play.
I know. And I appreciate that about you because you have to.
Yes.
This is play, though. This is play. This is fun for me. This is like, and that's really what life is a big game.
Yes, it is. I agree.
Right? And so when you can start having that kind of mindset about life rather than, oh, my life is just this big dark cloud kind of thing, like it is, and being a creative, like you have to play. It can get really dark being a creative and you're not playing.
I'll come into the office sometimes and people will be really intense, like the world's gonna end. I go, okay, guys, this will be okay.
Even if it ends.
We'll be okay. We'll
We
be
will.
okay. So
We will.
you have a great, great spirit.
Thank you. I agree with you on that one. I really love my spirit. Yes. You do too.
Thank you. Thank you. If you could pick a word for today, what would your word be?
Oh, a word for today. I do like these focus words. That's what I call them. Intentional focus words. So I'm going to really be intentional with that word. Receive. I want to be in the receiving mode. So my word for the day is to just receive. Receive the play. Receive the fruits of my hard work. Receive the energy of love. Receive the energy of peace and joy. So receive with all those other words in them too.
I want to take your word with. Can I share your word?
You can share my word.
That is a great word. So we'll receive.
In the receiving mode, I am ready to receive all the goodness.
You know, it's been interesting, like being in charge of a place. But my my whole philosophy, at first it wasn't like this, but my whole philosophy has been open hand, meaning to receive and to give freely, and that other things will take care of itself. And so it's one thing saying that thing. It's another thing basing your entire business on this.
Different.
Because if it doesn't, but it has worked so far, but I really do try to.
When there's reciprocity there,
Yes.
it works.
Yeah.
Because that's how the earth works. And when we work
Yes.
with
yes.
the earth and we work in harmony with giving and receiving and reciprocity, everything really does align.
Yeah, I like my board of directors. They have a lot of fear. And so they go, well, what if we don't have enough? And what did it? And I go,
We always have enough.
yeah, and I think that is one of the paradigms of nonprofits.
Yeah.
And that we just kind of pour us, help us.
That
because
lack
we're helping.
mentality.
Yes.
Victim mentality.
And
that's not what it's supposed to be.
And so how do we empower other people to get out of their stuff if we see ourselves as victims?
Right. You can't. You have to become the empowered healer if you want to help heal the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. So receive today.
To receive.
Let
Thank
us
you very
receive.
much. Have we got a minute yet? Thank you very much. I just know this like psychic. Well, thank you. How's this been since it was spur of the moment?
Loved it so much. I feel lit up and excited.
Well, good. You're very good at this.
Thank you. I think so too.
Maybe you should have your own show.
I believe I am going to have. I already have it. It's already written.
Okay.
It's already written. Jasmine said yes. It is already written. I have my own show.
At least laugh at that. I will tell you, I have to go. I went to see the new Batman. And my whole thought was, I wish they would have had one joke in this darn movie.
Man, Batman does get really serious
Yes,
sometimes. He's very...
Don't be Batman.
He had a lot of childhood trauma, though.
He did. Don't be Batman. This is Byron Jackson with Katelyn. And thank you very much, Katelyn, for being here.
Thank you.
And the rest of you have a very peaceful day.
So much
Bye-bye.
gratitude. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Connecting a community through conversation. conversation.
Breaking Ice, Building Bridges is the Possibilities community podcast platform. Thanks for tuning in.